$133,000 for reaching the Sweet 16. Oh boy, that's outstanding. Here's what Louisville athletic director Tom Jurich had to say. This is comical stuff. I found it to be a good way of seeing that achievements are rewarded. Really? Obviously, everyone wants to be in the NCAA tournament, and everyone wants to win those games, but not everyone can. We should single them out. Now, the them he's talking about, obviously from the figures I just read you, are the coaches. No one's talking about these kids that are going up and down the court, risking bodily harm, by the way. We saw that kid, Melo Trimble, get kicked in his head and bounced off the court like a basketball for free. For the freeski, weeski, oski, woski. You understand that? So he goes on to say, quote, obviously, you're not going to be able to do that with players. Oh, no, sorry. Obviously, you're not going to be able to do that without players. You think? But I can promise you they're certainly not going to do it without coaches either. Here's the funny thing about that.
You've got mail.
It's kind of like the imbalance in that whole statement. It is true that, it's a hand-in-hand thing. Obviously, players need coaches need players. But when Rick Pitino is already showing up to the gig with $3.9 million in his pocket, yeah, the scales are kind of imbalanced at that point, and then you're giving him more, and the kids still get nothing.
On the back of the kids.
Nothing.
On the back of the kids.
Yeah, that's where your argument falls apart, homeboy. Like, everything falls in line up until that point. Like, okay, yeah, you need coaches. Yeah, the kids need coaches, to run plays and practice and all this crazy jazz. But when it's time to start doling out money, and you start talking about accomplishments should be acknowledged, I think the kids accomplished something too. Like, their play got them to where they are.
Because I don't think Rick Pitino could get out there and play 1 through 5.
There's no think about it. There's no think about that. Yeah. Rick's he's not crossing nobody over for no reason.
But the God honest truth, Mike, is that, that's just another example, of the foolery that is, as you like to call them, the NCAA hoes.
Oh.
When you can show the amount of money that you make in football, when you can show the amount of money that that you make in the basketball tournament, which of course this is the biggest money maker for the NCAA. You see that there are ways that they can make this happen, and they're just it's just them refusing to find a way to make it happen.
So, speaking of ways to make it happen, great segue here. Yesterday, I told y'all I got caught up in some foolishness. I did. Got caught up watching Colin Cowherd for like the last 30 minutes of his show. Not watching, I was actually listening to it while I was in the shower. And Jason Whitlock made an appearance. And I guess the point of him being on the show is that he tweeted a bunch of stuff over the weekend about how disappointed he was in the state of basketball as a whole, college and pro. And he proposed to then fix the whole situation. And his remedy was incentivize kids financially. Certain kids now, like the top 10 players financially, to stay in school. And then he had this little tier system that he created in his own little stupid mind that, okay, you pay a kid $1 million let's, for example, take Jahlil Okafor, right? Or him or Karl Anthony Towns, two of the biggest names in the sport right now. You pay them like $1 million as juniors to stay in school up until that junior year, that third or fourth year or whatever. And then maybe you pay, a lesser tier guy like $80,000, to do the same thing, so that people. So his theory was that so people can carry their fandom from the college game to the pro game. And as I'm listening to this, I'm literally getting stupider as I'm hearing this come out of his mouth. Like,
because it sounds about like that.
Minute by minute, I'm getting dumber and dumber, and I can't do anything about it because I'm in the shower, and I'm stuck. I got to take care of my business there before I can get out and turn the phone off and not hear this anymore. So he continues to speak. He starts talking about how LeBron, how LeBron wouldn't have been any worse off playing a couple of years in college. I disagree so wholeheartedly. It's not even funny.
How many millions of dollars would he be right now if he decided to go to college?
Exactly. Like, people act like these kids don't get hurt. Like injury is not a thing. Yeah, stay in school for 3 years. Really? Somebody get Marcus Latimer on the phone if you don't mind. We'd like to speak to him about that whole idea of playing football for free. You dig what I'm saying? Like, come on. Like, it's the most idiotic argument in the world. First of all, if you start doing foolishness like let's say, okay, somebody just says, okay, Jaleel, not somebody, the NCAA says, okay, Jaleel Okafor, we'll give you $1 million to stay in school until you're a junior. Well, if I'm Jaleel Okafor, I'm saying, okay, if you offer me $1 million, why not 2? Because that's how America works. You don't just tell me. We negotiate.
We negotiate, right.
Yeah, you don't just tell me what it's going to be, because what I have is leverage, obviously. I could leave this place where you want me to stay, obviously, because you're offering me money to stay here in college. Or I could leave and go to the NBA, or I can stay and be a part of Duke University for another year or 2. Now, you're going to have to incentivize me. That's how things work. It's a simple matter of, well, you're here and you signed the scholarship, so you're entitled to this $1 million. No. Because if you tell me, like me, Karl Anthony Towns, Frank Kaminsky, and Kaminsky's like a 9th year senior. He's like, he don't count in this conversation. He's a senior. Yeah, he don't count in this conversation. But kids like that, or the other kids from Kentucky, like, you're not just gonna tell me that we're among the top 10 players, because even in that top 10, there's a ranking system, and I'm not gonna sit up here and get the same money at 1 as you're paying number 10. It don't work like that. Right. So now you done found yourself another conundrum. You're in another place that you don't want to be in. Like,
because now you got to rank these players 1 through whatever, and then you got to decide. I mean, it would almost turn into like a draft scenario. Like the pay scale and the NBA draft. I mean, like the number 1 player would obviously get the most money, but in college basketball, like, how do you clearly define it like that, dude? Right. Is there,
It comes down to worth. Plain and simple. You define what your worth is. You and your, because then, that's the other part of it.
You have to have an agent?
Oh, yeah. I got to get me some representation, because that's who's going to help me define my worth. And based on my worth, this $1 million could, at the end of the day, once we're done talking, can turn to $4 million. Now, are you willing to pay me $4 million?
You might as well be able to go. Well, you might as well be able to go to the NBA if it's going to get to that point.
And that's my point.
They might as well just open up the high school eligibility again, because then at that point, what's the reasoning for even saying, hey, I'm gonna go to the NBA if I'm in college and I'm making $4 million?
That's my entire point. That's why the whole proposal was as stupid could be. Let college be college. Like, my whole sentiment from the very beginning, because I'm not one of these idiots that believe that you can have some sort of salary system in college. First of all, there's too many colleges, there's too many players, there's too much to do. And, this is what I saw the other day too, dude. Yeah, every now and then, like you play Where's Waldo. I like to play Where's Ovi. Like, Ovi Mahaley just like pops up in certain places that you don't expect him to be. I guess Ovi Mahaley, I think he's working for like 120sports.com. I think that's what it is, because I see this thing about I don't know what it was. I think it was about paying. Well, it was definitely about paying players, but I don't remember exactly what the content was. But I clicked on it and a video came up, and it's like Ovi and then some other dude sitting on these couches, talking about paying players. And so, Ovi. See, he's one of those guys that believe that there's some unlimited fountain of money where you can pay the swim team and you can pay the girls soccer team, and you just have to pay them less. That's not how it works, homeboy. Like, for some people, your scholarship don't have to be enough, because there's such thing as a revenue-producing sport. And if your sport doesn't produce revenue, guess what? Yeah, it's 3 letters for you. SOL.
Yeah.
It's just what it is. Like, all this whole, like, the way society has just turned. Now, please, I'm not trying to sound like granddad on this one, but this whole, like, everything has to be quote-unquote fair thing, I don't live in that world. I never have. You know, I'm a person who totally believes that there are certain people in life who are just better. That's it. And what happens is, we look at those people, we look at the people like the LeBron Jameses of the world, and they remind us that we're not as good. So we find a reason to hate them. Right? If you really boil everything down, like about a guy like LeBron James, what is there not to like? Like, think about it rationally. What is there not to like? Like, this dude don't get in no trouble. You know, he married to the chick that he been with forever, got her kids. He take care of them. You know what I mean? You don't see LeBron acting no fool out of nobody's club nowhere, hanging around with no people that's going to shoot him in cars like Chris Johnson. Like, at the end of the day, you know, what is there not to like? Oh, he switched jobs and told everybody he was doing it. Oh, criminal, lock him up. But the reality is, nah. He's just that guy. He's one of those people you look at him like, God dog it. He just makes me look at my own life like, damn it, genes and luck and fate. Damn you. Well, it's real talk. So, look, this is what I'm saying. This whole deal with the NCAA, like, people got to stop being like Ovi, and people who are on that side of the issue got to stop. Got to stop talking immediately, because that's all the NCAA wants. They want to make it seem like it's this confusing thing. We're like, of course, see, everyone's talking about it. We can't pay everybody. There's not that much money. Mm-hmm. We can't do it. Be reasonable. Just let these kids be Americans. If you have something of value to someone else, because that's what value is. It's what someone else places on it. If you have something of value, your name, your likeness, your signature, how can you not be able to capitalize off that? How is that an impermissible benefit? To me, I'm going to say that's where the sticking point is. That whole, these kids don't have any value in their likeness. Fine. Stop putting these kids on TV when you're promoting the game then. Stop it. You just use the school name. Stop putting their jerseys with their numbers on it. And just because you don't put their name on the jersey, people aren't idiots. Well, people are mostly idiots, but not in this case. If you got a number, I don't know half these kids' numbers now these days.
Right.
Give me a number. I don't know. What was Todd Gurley's number? You put a number 3 Georgia jersey in the bookstore. Yeah, they know that's not some nobody. They know exactly whose jersey it is.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So just stop playing that whole little game. Like, they have no value. They have value to you, or you wouldn't be selling the stuff. It wouldn't be on the websites and in the bookstores. You wouldn't be putting these cats on commercials. Because now, like, look, today,
just all of that.
My man, and then today, Braxton Miller decided he wanted to put a not Facebook, what is it called, Rob? Instagram post of him and his trainer with some supplement stuff that he uses when he works out. And
but it looks like he's selling it.
That seems to be what the problem is going to end up being. They're saying that it's much to do about nothing, because for it to be a severe violation, they would have to prove that Braxton got money for it, not just took a picture with it. It's more of a secondary violation. But here again is one of my main points to this. There are 2 people in this picture, right? One person has a definite affiliation with the product. The other person, not so much, a questionable, right? The second person I'm talking about is Braxton Miller. You don't really know if he has an affiliation. He's just in the picture. You definitely know this other guy does. He's the trainer. Now, if Braxton Miller gets in trouble for this, nothing happens to this other dude. Nothing. And he still gets Braxton Miller on picture with his product. How, like, what world is that? What world is that? That can't be this one. The product is called, and I'm looking at it right here.
I got it right here. It's
Yeah, I'm looking dead at the damn thing. I can't freaking.
Well, I was looking at the picture actually. Applecare
Yes.
nutrition product.
And there's this whole write up about